race fans, and welcome to season 2020, episode 24 of the Pecino Report. The podcast that gets past the hype and gives you the lowdown on what's really happening in the MotoGP paddock. Well, Misano 2, that certainly delivered in the this is 2020, let's throw the rulebook out the window stakes, didn't it? More red flags in Moto 2, bikes munching on tear-offs until they choked, another new winner for 2020, and steady improvement for Suzuki and KTM. I thoroughly enjoyed our time in Misano, and this week we're back in sunny Spain. Andra, what's your favourite Spanish word?
Siesta.
Siesta. I love a good siesta indeed. No, sorry to catch you off guard. For everybody, I didn't word her up with that one. She had no idea whatsoever. How'd you like
couldn't think of any bad words. Oh, bloody awesome. So good. Like, my husband and I woke up Friday and just went, oh, it's race weekend. Like, it's becoming our, no, it's not our bed talk.
Ooh.
But it's
Tell
like,
me
no,
more.
but we're getting so excited because, yeah, like, and even trying to make social plans. We're like, nah, we'll plan that for the weekend after, because then we've got a break and we've got dinner, but we'll be home in time for the race. Like, it's taking complete control of our lives, and it's bloody awesome.
There you go, boss. We've got her. We've got another one.
Yeah.
Yes. And
How you doing, Manuel?
I'm doing well. I am back home after 2 weeks in Italy. And it's like, you know, when we are at the races, it's like living in a parallel world. Okay.
Yep.
There are no bills, there are nothing. And then you return home and there the reality waits for you. But okay, life is fine.
You're in fantasy land.
Exactly.
Indeed. So the race last weekend, obviously the first thing we've got to get off our chest, we've been quite critical over the last few months about Maverick, about Top Gun, potentially rightly so, how he's a Saturday boy and he's not performing on Sunday. He's finally had a Sunday. He showed up. His alarm clock went off on Sunday morning and he had a win. What do you think about that? Did he actually listen to his crew chief, boss?
Well, I have to tell you that for my satisfaction, after a fully Italian weekend the week before, finally we fought back and there were 3 Spaniards on the top of the podium.
Yeah.
On the podium in Misano. So you can imagine how the Italians were and how I walked through
chest out here.
Get out of the way.
Did you have a flag as well while you were waving that?
No. That was too risky. Too risky.
Indeed. But it was wonderful to see, wasn't it? And it couldn't have been.
Oh, yeah. It was a great
difference.
race. And as you said, Vinales finally made it. Finally.
I doubted you, Manuel. I doubted you. I was like, nah, he's not going to do it.
But the key is that one of the keys, because I imagine there were many, was that he started well. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Once again, he started well. And then he had only to keep, and he had basically the highway in front of him free. Yeah. You know, because Bagnaia was at 1.4 seconds more or less, but he could ride the way the Yamaha wants to ride.
He was racing the track as a rider loves
Did
to
he pick
do.
the right tyres? Is that what? Did he pick the right tyres? Is that what happened?
Oh yes, he didn't gamble this time. He just did what the others do.
And this is
and
something
I tell
for
you
all...
something. Look, Stu, sorry to interrupt you, but very quickly. Look, if you realize what's happening with Quartararo, did you realize? Misano won, how difficult for him was to overtake Maverick, and he crashed. Mm-hmm. And this time he stood behind the KTM of Pol Espargaro for 9 laps. Impossible for him to overtake. And this is exactly what the Yamaha is like.
Yep.
Remember last year, he always classified many times in front row. You know, he did a lot of poles, and this gave him the chance to start in front with no riders in front of him. Mm-hmm. So he's basically, besides suffering the pressure of being one of the favorites, he's also suffering the Yamaha syndrome.
Exactly. And it's as I think as the commentators were saying on the weekend, I think qualifying Saturday afternoon has never been more critical, realistically, given how close it is. If you do get stuck in that mid-pack there and you don't have that chance to ride at your own pace and ride the track, forget it.
Yeah,
I'm getting really
Sorry. Yes, Andrea?
I'm just going to give you my two cents worth. I'm getting really confused watching all the free practice qualifying trying to predict what's going to happen in the race, and I'm seeing a really big divide between who does so well in free practice and qualifying to the race. Like there's something that switches psychologically, or I'm seeing it in all the levels.
Yeah,
Well,
a lot of it's to do with the tyres that they're doing, and what they do in the practice sessions. They may be testing a certain tyre compound. And this comes back to what Manuel's been saying over the last few weeks. Maverick's been doing some great work doing long stints on certain tyres and getting a lot of data for tyres. But then on Sunday, he switches to a completely different tyre combination that he's got no knowledge of. If you have a look, and this is what I was going to say before, Manuel, like you've given me a real insight over the last few months as well, to go back and look at that data from the practice sessions. Maverick spent time on the tyres that he raced this weekend.
Yes, exactly.
That I think
exactly.
that's
you've got your guys, but you've got your guys that really stand out and are crazy fast in free practice or qualifying, and then they get to the race and nothing happens.
One lap heroes.
Yeah. Look, you can set up the bike to turn very quick. For one lap, you can set up the bike to explore to the maximum the tire they are using.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go with the same setup in the race, after 5 laps, you have destroyed the tires. So you have to.
Okay.
In the next podcast, I'm going to explain you how the tires are chosen inside the garage.
Cool.
I have
awesome.
worked on this topic in Misano, and it's really interesting. And I have discovered the whole world with this, which I didn't know that existed. It's really interesting.
Fantastic. Now, I think that sort of leads me into my next point slightly, and I'm coming back a little bit to what we were saying about Saturday being so important to get that 1 lap pace for Saturday because it is so close. Somebody that suffered from that, although you wouldn't think it because he had an amazing result. He finished second, Joan Mir. What an absolute legend. Very, very cool. But realistically, because of what happened on Saturday, because he started, was it 3rd row, 4th row, something like that,
11th.
all the way back?
11th.
There you go.
4th row.
4th row. Because he started all the way back there, he didn't have the opportunity to get up with Vinales and fight with Vinales. And so that was the difference, is that Saturday pace. But yeah, Manuel, Joan Mir, what an amazing young talent.
He's got to qualify a bit higher.
He does, that's right, yep.
He's the big sensation now. And I tell you, one of my children, he asked me, are there T-shirts with number 36?
The Jixers are back in town.
And he rides so exciting, so aggressively. And the most amazing from John, and what I like most, is the facility with which he overtakes. He arrives behind the rider, and it's
the ease.
2 or 3 cars.
Sees it and goes.
Yeah, the ease in which he gets past.
Really
so clear.
Exactly,
and look, I have analyzed him because many people say that if Joan Mir learns, or the Suzuki allows him to start in a first or second row, he will win easy races. So I went through his racing career, and I found something very interesting. Look, in 2017, when Joan got world champion in Moto3,
Moto3, yeah,
he won 10 races. 10 races, something that is unique in Moto3.
In Moto3, that's crazy. Yeah, it's normally a lottery.
Now every weekend, every different rider wins. So this showed how strong he was. But the most interesting thing is that 9 out of these 10 races were last lap victory.
Cool.
That is exactly how he rides today, So it's basically his way of riding. And another interesting statistic, that in his whole career in Grand Prix, he has only 2 pole positions, both in Moto3.
Wow.
This means that he's not a, how do you say, Saturday rider?
Saturday rider, exactly. Yeah, he's not a 1 lap hero.
He's a pure racer. And in Moto3, his level was so high that he could easily recover, catch up.
Yeah.
Okay, in MotoGP, the level is, we see how the level is. So even so, he can catch up. But if he really wants to arrive to fight for the victory, he needs to do better in qualifying. But
he needs to start at least from those first 2 rows. If he puts himself in the top 6, he's got a really good chance. Andra.
Yeah.
So in saying that, we've had 7 races and 6 different winners. Could it be his
7
weekend
races.
this weekend?
Yeah,
The 6 different
7 races.
Yeah.
And we
6
have
different
heard
winners.
anthems, and we have heard anthems that we have never heard.
Exactly.
Portugal, South
Portugal,
Africa,
exactly. Yeah, that's right. What's his? I haven't looked at Joan Mir's history recently back in Spain. What's his history like at this track?
No, he didn't do well last year. He didn't do well in Barcelona, but remember that he was injured heavily. So last year was a transition year, right?
Yeah,
it
true,
was not
true.
Something that has to be counted about. And now I have to tell you that there is an anthem missing, I think, this year, no?
One more
Australian.
We have to hear.
Yes. We have heard all type of anthems, but non-Australian.
Not the Aussie one yet. We will hear
So,
it before the end of the year. And
What happened to Jack Miller's bike on the weekend?
I wonder. Do you reckon we could find out? How do you think we could find that out? Manuel, do you think you could make a phone call?
Yes, look, I have an appointment with Jack in a few minutes. Do you want to join me?
Sure.
Oh, I think we should.
Hang on a minute. I think I might be a bit busy. I might not be able to make it.
Wait, let me go do my hair.
Okay,
let's do that.
We can ask him about the tear-off. We can ask him about when
all sorts of stuff.
Will he make the Aussie anthem be played in the circuit?
Exactly.
Let's see what he has to tell us about that.
Let's do that. And you know what? Through the magic of movies and computers, here it comes.
Jack, let me first introduce my colleagues. They are, we do a podcast called the Pecino Report, and that's why we want to have a chat with you. You can see Andra. Andra, I think she lives in Adelaide, right, Andra?
I do.
Adelaide.
He almost got that right, didn't he, mate?
That's right. At least I'm not a bloody Queenslander.
Hey.
What are you saying?
All the good stuff you see rises to the top.
I was wondering if you two are related then, if you're both from the same. Is your auntie married to his cousin or something?
South Australia is smaller than Queensland. We're more spaced out. So I mean,
exactly.
You're a bit worried about you guys down there.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, yeah, I'll stop now. Sorry,
okay,
Manuel.
Andra, start 2. We have 10, 15 minutes. You start, please.
Oh, here we go.
All right. So we got Jack from the Outback. I came up with that today. Is that people said that before?
That's a good one. I haven't heard that one before, but I'll take it.
Thank you. All
Outback
right.
Jack. There you go.
There we go. So my first question.
Might get in trouble from those steakhouses, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it any good or is it shit? Is it any
I've
good?
been there. I wouldn't rate it. I've been to better steakhouses, that's for sure.
Do they make some weird thing called a bloomin' onion or something that we don't eat here?
What? You're going off track already, woman.
Okay, sorry. My first question. On Sunday, when you found the tear off the visor, did you want to go and stick it in Fabio's air pipe?
No, I didn't even find it, to be honest. I literally got off the bike, spoke to the boys, gave them all a hug and that, and then I bailed out the back of the box because I drove to Misano, so I literally
Wow. Yeah.
I went and got me motorhome. Hooky and Thomas, my assistant, were in there, and I said, "Get your shit, we're going."
Wow.
Pack up.
You would have been pretty
we're
pissed.
out. We got
Did some sick burnouts out the back and got out of there.
Exactly. I was like, I'm not getting stuck in traffic as well because, we had fans there, which has been
Yeah.
the only positive thing about not having fans is you can leave whenever. No dramas, there's no traffic. And Italy is kind of bad for traffic anyway. So I was like, get everything in the van. Let's go. And then I went and seen the boys again, just said goodbye and that, and they hadn't even found it yet. They were going through the data. And then they literally, as I was driving out the track, Francesco, team boss, called me. He's like, "Oh, you won't believe we found the tear off in the box." And then all the mechanics sending me through the picture. I'm like, "Oh, kidding."
That is a famous picture now, man. That is a famous picture.
Is there no etiquette around, like, I'm quite new to MotoGP, that's why I'm part of this podcast, but I was watching it and I was like, what are they're throwing this off just on the track. How does no one pick it up? How does this not happen? So I'm sorry if I jinxed you, but is there going to be some etiquette around can you take it off before you head out or something?
I don't know. For me, I never really pull. For one, we don't really have time to pull them.
Can't someone do it for you? You got assistants and shit, right?
Yeah, but like when you're on the bike, you don't really have time to pull it. So a lot of guys do it maybe just to like you have it on there for the sighting lap. And
okay.
if you get something on, if you get a bug or something like that, once you're in focus and you're riding, you can sort of you look through the bugs. You don't really see them.
Yeah.
And then like
or the smashed seagull in Phillip Island, or
exactly anything like that. But yeah, when you got the bugs on there, it you don't really notice it at the time when you're racing. But then, for example, when you pull up or whatever, or when the race is done, or if you check the helmet after, you go, shit, how can I see out of that?
Yeah.
But yeah, once you're going, you can't really see it. But when you pull up to the grid like that, maybe you got a little bit on there, so they'll drop it there. I don't normally do it because I don't really get too fussed by it. I have 2 tear-offs on there, and like in qualifying, for example, I come in and pull it in the box just right there because, again, when your eyes refocus, you're like, oh, there's a bit of shit on it, so I'll get rid of it there. But yeah.
I need them for my bloody glasses during the day.
Just get some tear-offs. Yeah, why not?
Shits me.
Yeah, indeed. Manuel, I think you've got a serious question.
Yes, Jack. I am the serious part of this, you know.
All right.
And, Jack, I just went through the statistic from last year. You finished pretty well, 5th, +6 from the winner, even not having gone through the Q2, right? Yeah. So what do you expect for this year when you are stronger?
Yeah, I feel the bike this year's better. Like you say, last year I struggled sort of most of the weekend, and then come Sunday we kind of found something where I was able to be a little bit more confident with the bike. But we'll see. Like you say, we were close last year in the group with for the podium. Sort of ran a little bit out of tyre towards the end of the race. So, and I've had a lot of experience around here with the races, and it's always quite a difficult track on tyre. So we know what to expect kind of for this year. Kind of saying that, the races have been very topsy-turvy this year. So all we can do is just try to take back some of the points we lost in both races in Misano. First race wasn't ideal, and the second race we lost a big chunk. So,
yeah,
but it's been
fair call.
It's been worse, we're sort of back to where we were after, well, actually, we're better off than we were after Jerez 2, where we had the crash and I was down a heap of points, and I managed to claw it back to whatever it was, 12 or whatever it was. So we'll try do the same again, but get it down to 0 or even the other way. But we've got a lot of tracks coming up now that I enjoy. All the sort of bad tracks for me are out of the way. So we've got here. I enjoy riding here. I haven't particularly been crazy fast here in the past, but last year was an improvement, and we look for improving on that. Le Mans, another track I really enjoy. I've done well at in the past. Aragon, another track I've done well at in the past, been on the podium there. And then Valencia as well, another track I've done well at, been on the podium. And then we finish it off at a wildcard track in Portimao that no one's really been to. So we'll all get a little bit of
the great leveler.
Exactly. I think what a perfect way to end this season, that's been so sort of strange, is to finish it off at a track where no one's been to. It'll be a cool way to end it.
Indeed. Yeah, very, very good words, mate. And look, you haven't had a good time in Italy. You said that yourself. You're in an Italian team. You're surrounded by Italians 24/7. What's it like as an Aussie personality? It's very different personalities. What's it like being surrounded by Italians? And next year as well, you're going to have, maybe, if you have Pecco with you as well, he's the Great White Hope. What do you think that dynamic's going to be like moving forwards in the top tier team?
It's something, being an Aussie over here all my life, all my career basically, is you're always outnumbered. You're always going to be outnumbered. So, I mean, there's nothing I can do about that. So
that's the Aussie spirit, mate. That's the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you get used to that growing up in Queensland?
Yeah, exactly, being outnumbered.
Shut up, you.
But no, I mean,
get one more in.
Something I can be, I take that as a positive thing. It's something, that the Italian teams put a lot of trust in me. They've been very good to me. So you try and repay them. Like I a lot of Aussies have done in the past. Australians and especially the Italians have got along really well in the past. So try and keep that legacy going.
Good stuff.
I do love.
And do you see the Paco thing as being a good challenge as well for having a rider as as I say, he's the local hope. Do you see that as just another guy you're just going to take down?
Yeah, but I also see it as he's their hope. But I mean, there's a lot of other young Italians going really well with Frankie. So it's not easy on his shoes as well because he's got a lot of guys from the same country as him, guys he's grown up racing or beating or whatever. So it's not the easiest position in his side as well. So I take the good with the bad and try to do the best we can do.
So what I love, this isn't so much a question, but knowing that you sort of take a lot of the young Aussie boys under your wing and take care of them and that sort of thing, I think that's bloody awesome. And again, not a question, but just wanted to acknowledge how good it is you do that because you know what it's like to be, one of the minority.
No, I think it's a great thing, if we can try and stick together over here, it's great because, I mean, we all have our own, the Aussies, we have our own sense of humour and there's nothing like, being around your own, let's say, countrymen and being able to have banter and that sort of thing. And also when you first come over here, like with Billy and that, it's not easy, especially for me. I grew up on a farm riding every day. And then you come over here where you're on the other side of the world, you don't have bikes, you don't have, the resources to go
freedom
backwards at all. Yeah. And so I try and help them as much as I can because I remember how much I missed, being able to go and ride through the week and stuff like that, like I did at home. So try and do that sort of thing. So it makes me keen, it's always better to ride with friends and stuff like that. So it's quite good to help.
Good stuff.
And you can talk fast with each other and understand.
Exactly.
Indeed. Yeah. Manuel.
Jack, do you see yourself as a contender apart because you had some zeros? Are you still in the race?
Definitely. Yeah, I'm only 20 points behind. I don't even need a zero. I don't even need the opponents to get a zero. I just need to try and beat them as best I can. And we have enough time. We'll see, after this weekend and next weekend, we're at the halfway point and I'm only 20 points behind. So it's the same as if I, had a bad race in the first one or whatever. So I definitely see myself as a contender. I've been here before. I've, learned from mistakes, let's say, in the past. And I'd like to think I've got enough experience now that I can be a contender, but we'll have to wait and see.
So when you do, Jack, and we hear that Aussie anthem, I have a favour. I heard you did a shoey once.
Mm-hmm.
Will you drink is it wine or champagne?
Champagne.
Will you drink it out of your helmet?
Helmet would be even worse than
a helmeting.
Why not?
Imagine the mank and the sweat that's in there.
I sweat profusely. I mean,
but you'll drink it out your shoe.
Yeah, but
start wearing a hairnet just in case.
It doesn't really absorb much. The helmet, like you can grab it and it's dripping wet. So I reckon that'd be even worse than the boot.
Pour it. Or I get a goon bag. That's what you need, a goon bag.
Goon bag. Just
a goon bag. Oh my God.
Manuel, I'll explain that to you later.
Indeed, we will. Now, Manuel, did you have another question? I think I had another question. I've completely forgotten what it was because I'm having such a good time. Did you want something else that you wanted to ask Jack at the moment?
No, finished you. We have just a few minutes. Go ahead with your special stuff.
Perfect. So I'll do this. So at this point, when we're talking to someone who's a legend like yourself, mate, I like to fire a few quick questions at someone just to see, and I know you're at the track at the moment, so I know you're switched on, so this shouldn't be a problem for you. This is my fast five, mate, so it's going to be 5 fast questions. So here we go. You ready for this?
Yeah.
First one. What's the best road bike ever made?
I'd have to say probably my Ducati Panigale. I really like that, but also I've got now the Diavel at home.
Oh, the Diavel. I love a good Diavel. Nice. Is it the dark?
The black one, yeah, the black one. I love it. It's unreal. It's comfy. You can cruise around. It's got quick shifter. You can get into it when you want. It's a whole
nice. Feel like Judge Dredd riding that thing.
Exactly.
Love it.
It's like my
question 2.
It's a better one.
Holden or Ford?
Holden.
Nice, good man. Question 3. Most annoying person in the paddock?
Oh.
Apart from journalists.
Apart from Manuel.
Can't
say Manuel.
Yeah, it could be press officers.
Oh, Rita. I think that was
calling you. Hey, you're late. So,
Nice. Come in and talk to these idiot Aussies. Love it. Question 4. Mullet or man bun?
mullet, sure, man.
Love it. Right answer.
Grow
Good
it
stuff.
back. Grow it back. It'll make you
Grow
go
it back.
faster.
Grow, you've got to go the mullet.
Never
Come
that
on.
good though. It was never that. My hair goes curly and it just doesn't work. It just
That just makes it even
Oh, you have
better.
to compete
You've
with
got that
Frankie.
little curl at the bottom. Lovely. Last question. I know you're amazing at both, but do you prefer a stand-up wheelie or a stoppie?
stand-up wheelie for sure. The only reason I do the stoppies is because I can't really do the stand-up wheelies anymore. The bike doesn't allow it. It's only certain places I can find where it'll do it. So
the only thing where you can trick it.
The only other option I got is do a stoppie because the thing won't let me.
Outstanding, outstanding. Jack Miller, thank you so much for your time, mate. It's been absolutely amazing. We've loved it. Go kick some butt this weekend. We will be cheering for you. Don't worry. And, mate, we want to see you on that top step of the podium, drinking beer out of the empty skull of your vanquished enemies. There we go. Love it. Cheers, mate.
Thank you very much.
See you, mate.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Wow, there you go. How cool was that? Just in and out, just like the magic of television. That's incredible, isn't it? That was so cool. I really enjoyed that. Andrew, what did you think of that?
I don't know. I was just laughing because I was doing the countdown with my fingers and forgot we've got video now. And I stuck my middle fingers up for the one. I went, oh, we've got video on YouTube now. Sorry, that was like my second favorite 5 minutes of my life.
After? Yeah, you know, your husband and your kids are both watching right now. So
let me jump in. How did you? Because you didn't know Jack until now, no? Personally.
Yeah.
What was your feeling? Do you think that he was relaxed by speaking with Aussies? How did you feel?
I felt a good affinity there. I think as soon as we heard the accent and we started to talk normally, I think when we've seen a lot of press of Jack, when he's talking in Europe, as he mentioned himself there, he speaks a lot slower, he speaks differently. I think in the first 30 seconds, he started talking Aussie again and we were comfortable.
Stu, for me, it has been so funny hearing you say, we started to talk normal.
I know. Manuel, did you get lost? Did you get lost at all, Manuel, listening to three Aussies talk?
I understood 10%.
And we taught and we taught you what a mullet was. Exactly. And I need to tell you. And I need to tell you later.
That is too difficult for me. Well,
I need to tell you. Oh no, I should tell everyone so the other listeners that aren't in Australia know. I said something to Jack about a goon bag. In Australia, you can get this really flash wine, and it comes in a box, and inside the box is a silver bag full of wine. So what you can do at parties,
cheap wine.
Yeah, but. So the best thing is you've got a pillow at the end of the night once the bag's empty because you just blow it up with air.
Are you going to talk about goon fortune?
And if you have a party, have clotheslines, like we have a thing called a Hills Hoist clothesline in Australia. You peg the wine and you spin it around, and if it stops in front of you, you drink from it.
Great.
That's a real Aussie party. When I imagine an Aussie party, it's something like that.
Yeah, exactly. That and sausages on the barbecue. There we go. Indeed. Now that was absolutely amazing. Manuel, what did you think of that interview? Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, I know Jack, but the thing is, look, we have had here some chats with Jake Dixon, with Remy Gardner, and the difference is that when we chat with them, they were at home. They were relaxed. Yep. Jack was clearly on racing mode.
He was in the office.
Yeah, exactly. So I tell you something, probably the riders what they hate most of the Grand Prix are the Thursdays. Thursdays where they have to do interviews, where to have to speak with the the journalists. Yep. That is the worst. And the thing with Jack, probably he would have liked to speak more, but probably, I tell you, he had these 15 minutes, then probably immediately after he had another interview, immediately after another one, and then at 5 o'clock he had the press meeting, so for them it's a nightmare. But he has been very relaxed and very fine, I think.
But I'm so naive because I just go, they get to kick back and then they just go out on race day or go ride their bikes and do all the fun stuff. But they're crazy busy doing stuff that most of them probably don't enjoy.
They do indeed. You look at, coming back to another Aussie, and Jack alluded to it there. You look at Casey. a lot of the reason that Casey left was because of the stuff off the track that was going on.
Because
the stuff
of
that you had
us.
to do around it. Yeah. It was you, Manuel. It was all your fault. That's right. So yeah,
got in the way of his fishing time.
Yeah, it's become a completely different game. The riding is a percentage of it, and now what you do around the riding is a large percentage of it as well. It's the game.
For you, racing is fun. Is something that you do off your work and something that brings you joy, right?
Yeah.
For them, it's a profession.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and why do you think they got paid millions for racing and for PR stuff? I tell you something, the worst in the contracts of Valentino Rossi, what he normally fights more for is to have as less possible days for PR.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can see why.
I'm telling you, Stu, I'm telling you about 3 days. The fight is between 3 days or 5 days a year.
Oh. What?
Wow, really?
For Yamaha. So it's down to them. No, Valentino, no, I want 2. No, you have 5. 5, no way. No, I want 2.
Yeah.
PR stuff in the whole season.
Wow.
I get it. I know how hard it is for models, like on freezing cold days when they have to go out and look good. And it's like,
I get it every week, and I have to wear that tape on my nipples all the time. I hate it.
Yes.
I absolutely hate it. Indeed. So moving forwards. So this weekend. So we're back in sunny Spain, mate. So tell us about this weekend. What are you seeing? What is the guru feeling about this weekend?
Well, as you know, I like to look at the statistic because at the end, racing is most basically figures. And if you go through the figures, there is a rider that surprised me that I really didn't put in my first to win list. That is Fabio Quartararo.
Oh,
Tito Rabat, poor Tito Rabat.
So Fabio,
leave Tito alone.
Leave Tito alone. So Fabio,
okay,
I wouldn't have thought of Fabio. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, Fabio, look, the characteristic of the Catalan circuit of Montmeló are 2. Basically, the long straight, 1.1 Ks, that the top speed there is around 350 Ks at the end of the straight. And the other characteristic of Montmeló is that the grip is very low. Okay, there is no high grip ground. So these are the 2 characteristics. So the Yamaha is by far the slowest bike of the field, by far.
That's why I wouldn't have thought Fabio at all. Exactly.
Exactly. In theory, they will suffer there. But Fabio, if I don't remember wrong, he did his first MotoGP podium in Barcelona last year. The year before, he won the race, the Moto2 race, the only race he won in Moto2. And the victory that opened the door for him to MotoGP was in Barcelona.
Wow.
In the Spanish Championship, he always has won in Barcelona. So it's a track that he really feels at home. It's his favorite
the track, clearly, for that many wins.
So the history says this. We have to see how much the pressure on Fabio acts this time, right?
Exactly. We've got history versus, as you say, the pressure of Fabio, and also potentially maybe a slightly detuned Yamaha engine. Who knows? Yeah. On that 1.1 kilometer straight. Who knows?
Yeah, remember that it's funny that you point this last year. Remember that Fabio used a B Yamaha, not the factory one, but a satellite.
That's right. He was on satellite bike.
Yeah, the same that he's using now Morbidelli, who has won in Misano. So maybe the good Yamaha is the one that is not run by the factory.
It's
but
the SRT.
This is a job.
Yeah, Andra.
Is that straight longer than most of the tracks?
I think, look, there were 2 straights. There is 1 straight in Mugello, obviously. That is almost the same. The longest straight was in Austin. The longest straight, but it's not only it's how fast you get into the straight.
Well, that's because haven't we spoken about that? Like Ducatis are better on those tracks that have the longer because they've got the power.
In Mugello, there is nobody that can beat Ducati for years because of the engine and here in Barcelona they also are very strong. The first Ducati victory, I think down in 2003, the first one was by Capirossi in Barcelona because of the engine. So it would be nice to see
Aussie win.
Let's say to see a Ducati, because I was going to say to see Dovizioso win, but we have just spoken with Jack. So
maybe we could have
to put
Aussie, Ducati. And he needs the points. He needs the points.
I think I need that for Dovizioso. It's a need. It's a must.
Yeah.
To do this, because he's the leader, like showing, okay, I have done very bad until now, but here I come.
Yeah, I think potentially a Dovizioso win here would really cement his championship standings for a lot of people. This would really put him in that box seat, definitely. Andra.
I just remembered. So Cal's going to race this weekend.
Cal's back. No?
No, he won't.
Really?
No.
I heard he was.
Look, it's
my sources.
Yesterday, he fell off.
He hurt his ankle.
Yes, but after doing his PCR test, he fell and twisted his ankle, so he will not be racing.
People are racing with broken bones. What? He's got a bloody twisted ankle. He rode with an open arm.
This is the third thing that Cal has happened this season. I think that he should put a big cross on his leather,
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, they say it comes in threes, so he's had all three, so he should be right. He's okay. Indeed. Look, guys, it's been absolutely amazing tonight. Thank you so much for introducing us to Jack Miller, Manuel. Without you, this would never have happened. This is a dream. It's been absolutely wonderful.
Here, Jack, we have had Remy Gardner. We have Jack. Now we have to find another Aussie in the paddock to talk with.
We have to get some more Aussies in that paddock. We do. Billy, get Billy up there.
Do you know what? I'm going to put it out there just because we're recording. I want to speak to Brad Binder and his brother.
Brad and Darren.
Okay.
Brad and Darren. They sound so Aussie, even though they're not Aussie.
I have a mission then.
We do.
You do.
We need to get 5 little boxes here. Or we'll get 4, but in one of them we'll have 2 people, and it'll be Brad and Darren.
I think I can arrange this for the next Grand Prix. I can.
Why not? And then we'll speak to Valentino. Okay, I promise I'll keep my shirt on.
On one of his 2 or 3 press days throughout the year, he'll just slot us in. Why not? Indeed.
No. He has no press days. It's PR. Not press.
PR days, right?
He does. Zero press days.
That's absolutely amazing. Okay, look, but before we sign off, Andrew, did you have something that you wanted to say to our viewers and our listeners, just to remind them of where they can find us?
Something important?
Something
sorry,
important,
I won't be stupid now. Check us out on social media. We've got the Pecino Report on Instagram. Drop us messages. I'm on Andrew _ what is it? The Pecino Report. Stu's Quick Draw. I try my best here. Hey, I'll get better each week, I promise. Stu's Quick Draw _ 73. And and Manuel, why are you laughing? I'm getting better. Come on, give me a break. And Manuel at Pecino GP. You can talk about that because I will mess that up and
Indeed, Manuel, let us know where they can find all of the latest material these days.
pecinogp.com. I have done a couple of good stories. One is with, did I tell you, with Iker Lecuona?
No, not yet. No, Iker's a hero.
Iker, and the headline is Iker Babyface Lecuona.
There you make the mother come out now. I'm like, Iker.
Look, I tell you very quickly from Iker that I learned a lot of things talking with him about him. He was racing in 2015 and they kicked him out of the championship because he was too slow.
I thought he kept falling off.
Look, and then the next season, he broke a leg. Another season off. Then he was nobody anymore. So he raced a set Supermotor Championship with a 9-year-old bike.
Wow.
And now he is the baby face of MotoGP. So
he's a little engine that could.
So he looks like a kid, but when you hear him talking, he said, you know that he doesn't give up. He said to me, there are 2 ways to get up there, with your father paying or fighting for it like I did.
Nice.
Is that a dig at someone or is that a dig at lots of them?
To dig at lots of them, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Some brothers, for example.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's right. So that's fantastic. So that's on Pecino GP. Wonderful. And you can see it in English, or you can go pecinogp.es and see it in Spanish as well.
In Spanish, and then you learn at the end. I promise that we will put on each article the word siesta time.
Siesta.
What's this better to say? You can learn some other words other than siesta.
You have to have it halfway through, so you can have a siesta in the middle and then come back to it.
Exactly.
That's how it worked.
Okay.
Guys, it's been wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, Andrew, you got one more thing.
No, I didn't finish my important stuff. We are also now on YouTube. So if you're listening to us on podcast platforms, flick over to YouTube. We're starting to record video. Share to all your friends. Tell all your friends about us, even if you like one thing you heard, and we love you.
Give us a 5-star rating. Yep. Follow us on all the social medias. Send us emails. We love it. Yeah. See you later, guys. Bye.
Bye. Adios. Adios.